Kent State Sex Week is in full swing. See what happens today, where to find them, and what prizes you can win.
Could Minnesota Representative Tom Summers become Speaker of the House? Hear about the latest buzz from the House of Representatives.
An off-duty Alaska Airlines pilot is facing charges for attempting to cut off plane engines, why this happened, and more.
Starbucks official holiday cups are returning for the festive season. Hear about the design of the cups and the company's take on them as TV2 starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good Tuesday evening, Portage County, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm the Micheal Neenan.
And I'm the Joe Malbin. In attempts to educate students about safe sex, Kent State is hosting Sex Week.
One of this year's events, Green Dot, helps students understand the topic of sexual violence. Our reporter Dennis Farahani has more on this. Hi, Dennis.
Hi guys, I went to today's Sex Week event, Green Dot, to learn about its importance. It's Sex Week here at KSU, and event organizers say it's a time to learn about the importance of safe sex and educate oneself better on the topic, including understanding sexual violence, which is what Green Dot is all about. Green Dot is a way of helping one another when you might not know the other person to promote a safe culture. Julius Payne, who works for the Center for Sexual and Relationship Violence Support Services, says this training is important for all students.
We received the first two abductees a few minutes ago. We were very emotional. They look okay. Their medical condition is okay. They're talking. At first, we immediately brought them to their family members. It was a very, very emotional meeting.
Boundaries. Kent Interhall Council is having events all week long. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Dennis Farahani.
Thank you, Dennis. Today is day 2 of Sex Week. Tonight's other activity is Sex Week Bingo, where participants can compete for sex-related and non-sex-related prizes. The event is hosted in the ballroom of the Kent State Student Center at 7 to 8:30 p.m. Only the first 800 people will be able to participate.
Fab KSU is back at it again with their upcoming Ghost in the Graveyard event. Ghost in the Graveyard will take place Wednesday, October 25th from 12 to 2 p.m. The spooky event will feature a Halloween craft and a dirt pudding bar. Ghost in the Graveyard will take place on the second floor of the Student Center. Be sure to check out the Fab KSU Instagram page for more information.
Feel like skating but can't wait for the lakes to freeze? Well, look no further because the Kent State Ice Arena will be hosting a college late night skate every Wednesday. To participate, students must show their flashcards or other college ID. Any guests must be accompanied by a student. Entrance fees are $5 per person. The first skating night starts Wednesday at 9:15 p.m.
Good Tuesday evening, everyone. Today has been quite the beautiful day here in Kent with warm temperatures and the changing colors of fall. So let's go ahead and what we can expect for the rest of this evening. Right now outside it is 68 and sunny. Feels like 68 degrees. Our dew point is at 42. Winds are pretty light north at 9 miles per hour. Humidity this evening is at 33% and visibility is at 9 miles. As for tonight, temperatures will drop low into 58 degrees with clear skies persisting overnight. Winds will shift slightly south-southwest at 6 miles per hour, and your sunset this evening is at 6:31 p.m. As for tomorrow, our forecast is going to remain pretty much like it has been with those cooler temperatures. 6 p.m. it's going to be right around 68 degrees this evening with a low of 58 at 12 a.m. and then 6 a.m. 59 degrees waking up tomorrow, and our high tomorrow is only going to get right around 70 degrees like today. And so yeah, coming up I will give you guys the full rundown on the rest of your 7-day forecast.
Thanks, Aaron. In a recent study, Ohio ranked as the 6th cheapest state for medical marijuana. This is according to Leafwell, a medical marijuana card service and research group, who analyzed over 130,000 menu items at medical marijuana dispensaries around the U.S. The study revealed that Ohio charges approximately $10.54 per gram. States with cheaper prices than Ohio include Michigan, Arkansas, Colorado, Maine, and Oregon.
Changes to Senate Bill 83 may be coming. State Senators Jerry Serino has been working with House Higher Education Committee Chair Tim Young to make alterations to the legislation. The details of these changes have not been disclosed. Should the bill pass the committee, the bill could reach the floor of the House, which next meets November 15th.
A bipartisan bill to make drug and raping a spouse illegal is finally moving forward in Ohio. House Bill 161 attempts to counter a loophole in a current law from 20 years ago, which outlawed forcible spousal rape, but left a provision that allows a person to impair a spouse's mental state with alcohol or drugs or wait until they are unconscious to assault them. The bill was announced by Representatives Brett Hillier and Jessica Miranda. The bill currently has no opponents.
Another bill being brought to the floor would ban AirTag stalking. Senate Bill 100 would update state stalking laws and make it illegal to place an electronic tracking device on someone's person or property without their consent. This also applies when a person gave consent originally but revoked it later. This comes after an Akron woman was murdered by her ex-boyfriend, who is believed to have placed a tracking device in her car.
Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost and 32 of his colleagues have filed a federal lawsuit against Meta, the social media giant. The lawsuit alleges that Meta designed and deployed harmful features on Instagram and Facebook to addict younger users. The complaint also alleges that Meta violated federal law by targeting young users after identifying them as a valuable and untapped base. The suit also alleges Meta violated state consumer protection laws by assuring the public that the platforms are safe for young users.
Former Ohio State Representative Bob Young will face trial today on domestic violence charges. Young was arrested in July by Summit County sheriffs for allegedly assaulting his wife and brother, which led to his resignation from the state house. Other charges Young is facing include assault, violating a protection order, and menacing by stalking.
The 8 Akron police officers involved in the shooting death of Jalen Walker have returned to work. Akron Captain Michael Miller cited a state investigation and the grand jury's decision to not indict the officers in the Jalen Walker case. Miller said the department's internal probe of the shooting is going through a legal review, which is expected to be released by November.
Why did you? We should have a ceasefire. It's not a ceasefire. We should have those hostages released, and then we can talk.
Hostages kidnapped by Hamas are being released. Find out what they experienced and what they had to say about the war.
The United Auto Workers Union will be extending their strike to a Stellantis, Michigan plant. Hear about how Stellantis responds.
House Republicans are now looking towards Minnesota Representative Tom Emmers to potentially fill the speaker vacancy.
Our own correspondent Anthony Leonardi has more on this story. Anthony, what can you tell us?
That's right, guys. As many of us know, the House has been in need of a new speaker, and the selection process is continuing to spark conflict within the House of Representatives.
Go through rounds of voting, but finally settle on a candidate who can get 217 votes on the House floor so that we can elect a speaker today. That's the goal, and we're going to start that process right now.
I think this gets done this week. I think we'll go a number of rounds here because the size of the number of people who are running, but I think Tom Emmer has a real lead here and probably best poised to bring the conference together.
The House has not had a speaker for 3 weeks now after Kevin McCarthy was removed from the position. House Republicans chose Minnesota Representative Tom Emmer as their newest speaker nominee. However, Emmer is facing, quote, significant opposition in the conference, which could be enough to prevent him from winning on the House floor, depending on the numbers. After hours of opposition, Tom Emmer decided to discontinue his bid for House Speaker.
What are you hearing from your constituents back home about this mess? They want it over with. They want us to clean up the mess, which is what I think we're all sitting here to do. Everybody's frustrated. I think that's a general consensus around the country, us included.
Spent some time in the district talking to neighbors. They're as frustrated as we are. I mean, they're angry, and I'm angry.
As more information becomes available, be sure to keep up with us on KentWire.com. For TV2 News, I've been Anthony Leonardi.
Thanks, Anthony. The United Auto Workers Union is extending its strike to a plant in Michigan.
CNN's Emily Schmidt has more on this story.
The United Auto Workers Union calls what happened Monday in Sterling Heights, Michigan, a surprise strike. 6,800 union workers moving from work at Stellantis to the picket line in the latest move in a larger strike heading into week 6.
We just felt like it was time to turn it up. So today was this choice, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.
It's the second surprise move in as many weeks, the first against Ford October 11th. This one, the UAW says in a statement, comes as Stellantis has, quote, the worst proposal on the table, trailing Ford and General Motors on issues including wage progression, temporary worker pay, and cost of living adjustments. Stellantis responded with its own statement, saying it's outraged and that it had offered a new improved deal to the union last week with no counter-proposal in return. A CNN poll conducted by SSRS earlier this month found Americans overwhelmingly side with union members in their strike against the major auto companies. There are now more than 40,000 UAW members on strike and thousands of additional Big Three layoffs. Anderson Economic Group estimates members on strike or those who've been laid off have lost nearly $500 million in wages.
We can stop this now.
Ford's executive chair said the strike was at a crossroads when he spoke publicly last week. This week, UAW's president says companies need to act to avoid more surprises.
Either come to the table and take care of your membership or get ready, because more's coming.
I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
An Alaska Airlines pilot is facing charges for attempting to cut off airplane engines mid-flight. Pilot accused has been identified as 44-year-old Joseph David Emerson, native of California, who was off duty at the time of the event. The flight was transporting around 80 passengers and was originally going from Washington State to California before making an emergency landing in Portland, Oregon.
Did you hear anything at all that raised red flags?
Nothing until the flight attendant's announcement that said we had a situation, we needed to prepare for a landing. My boyfriend was up in the front, so we weren't sitting together, and he slept through the whole thing. So that tells you how calm it was.
New details have emerged surrounding the event. Investigators claim Emerson was high on psychedelic mushrooms, with Emerson claiming it was his first time ever using them. According to the flight crew, Emerson had been speaking with the captain and first officer in the cockpit before trying to activate the plane's fire emergency system, which cuts off fuel to the engines. Emerson had to be removed from the cockpit.
Let's take a look at the weather this evening for the rest of Northeast Ohio. Up on the bay in Sandusky, 74 degrees and 75 in Cleveland. Ashtabula is at 72. A little bit farther south here in Kent, 68 degrees, 71 in Youngstown, with 70 in Worcester and Canton, 68 degrees in Mansfield. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of our state. 78 degrees over in Lima, 68 in Dayton, and 75 down in Cincinnati. 75 also in Columbus, 71 in Akron and Steubenville, and 73 degrees in Athens. As for the rest of the week and what we can expect coming up in your 7-day forecast, this week's temperatures are going to be just a little bit nice here for the rest of the weekend before we get back into those fall temperatures. Tomorrow, 72 with cloudy skies and some wind in our area. Thursday, mostly cloudy with a high of 76 and a low of 64. Moving into our weekend, partly cloudy skies on Friday with a high of 77 and a low of 63. And for Saturday and Sunday, some rain and scattered thunderstorms are going to roll into our area. bringing us a high of 69 on Saturday and 67 on Sunday. Beginning of next week, we'll start off cool with a high of 54 on Monday with some morning showers and partly cloudy skies with a high of 43 on Tuesday. And that is all for your Tuesday evening weather report. Stay up to date with all news and weather stories at KentWired.com. Enjoy your evening, Portage County. I'm Aaron Houck.
An Israeli woman who was released after being held hostage by Hamas is speaking out. Yocheved Lifshitz, an 85-year-old grandmother, was one of the 2 hostages released by Hamas on Monday. Lifshitz spoke about being taken from her home in the kibbutz of Nir Oz and taken to Gaza, where she said she was beaten and bruised. The woman said that she was forced into an underground tunnel system likened to a spiderweb.
We
are excited, happy, and content about the official announcement and the fact that my grandmother, Yocheved Lifshitz, and Nurit Cooper, both from Kibbutz Nir Oz, are returning to us during a humanitarian operation. And I am here in the Red Sea, and we look forward to them, and look forward to the continued release of all our hostages from this kibbutz, and all hostages in general.
Hamas released Lifshitz and her neighbor, 79-year-old Nurit Cooper, on Monday, where they reunited with their families. Lifshitz accused the Israel Defense Force and Shin Bet intelligence services of not taking threats from Hamas seriously. More than a quarter of the Nir Oz community are dead or remain missing, with roughly 1,400 people killed in the Hamas attacks on October 7th.
China's Minister of Defense has been fired after his disappearance. According to Chinese state media, Defense Minister Li Shangfu, who hasn't been seen in the public for 2 months, was let go after being appointed in March with no explanation given for his ousting. Li becomes the second high-profile minister to be fired in China without explanation.
We're going from Chile to Philly to the Lone Star State. Travel with us around the world of sports in a little bit.
They say family comes first. Find out how Tinder is allowing your loved ones to approve your matches after the break.
What's going on, Portage County? I'm Della Fowler, and last night we handed out everything from a gold medal to a pennant. So we're going to start out with USA as they're in Chile for the Pan American Games. These games are essentially a mini Olympics with North and South American countries. The U.S. is in the lead with a total medal count of 96 with 45 golds, 23 silvers, and 28 bronze. Trailing Team USA is Mexico, followed by Canada. These games will continue until November 5th, so be sure to follow TV2 Sports for all the updates on social media, And like I said, we're going from Chile to Philly, so we'll take it now to Red October in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as we wait for the video to come up. There it is. Oh, she'll be worth the wait, don't worry. Philly needs one more to win a back-to-back NL pennants. We are going here. Tommy Pham is not into the Philly vibes as he smokes this one deep into a sea of red, getting the Phils down early here. Next up, Lourdes Gurriel, and sorry guys, I just got deja vu. Right to the exact spot. Zona's got back-to-back jacks. Man on second now. Brandon Marsh bloops this one into the outfield. Fastest sprinting catcher in the league, JT Real Muto, will have plenty of time to get home, and the Phillies get on the board. Now Ketel Marte, he's up, and he is just going to disrespect this fastball straight in the corner. Castellanos can't track it down, and Carroll's got heck lot of wheels. This guy sprints at 29.3 feet per second, and he'll easily get home as Nola's going to get knocked out of the game here. And Ketel Marte, have yourself a game king. Sends home Perdomo for a really beautiful insurance run. Sewald in, and his stuff is freaking nasty. Take a look at this sweeper here that he throws to Brandon Marsh to knock him out. The Phillies are going to go on and force a Game 7. They'll play tonight. And now we're going to go head out to Houston. And speaking of Game 7s, that's what we're doing here. Rangers in Houston, it's win or go home. Javi on the bump. Corey Seager's been having a rough postseason, but he's going to set the tone here for the Rangers, and they will not slow down. Adolis Garcia, he's a certified Astro killer. Hits it off the left field wall. He thinks he scored, but that's okay. A run is a run. However you can get it. He's going to score a really, really damaging first inning. They're going to knock Javi out. pull him in the first, but Bregman is going to put the Stros back into it with a high shot to center field. Pretty close to hitting the train tracks, but it'll just bounce off the Planet Fitness sign, his 4th home run of the postseason. And we've got some rookie-on-rookie crime here as JP France has got the bases loaded, but Evan Carter will clean him off. And the Rangers will score 4 in the 4th inning, and they'll take off from here. The Astros just could not catch up. Tucker's going to ground it to second, and the Rangers are going to take the pennant for the first time since 2011. That's all I've got for sports today. I'm Della Fowler. Have a great night, and always stay bright, Portage County.
Starbucks cups are beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Hear about all the new designs releasing for the holiday season.
Hey, you. Yeah.
Starbucks has unveiled its newest holiday-themed cups. The new designs feature a shiny and iridescent hue, which the company says is inspired by a winter wonderland and calm winter's night. Also including are cups that change color and candy cane straws. Although there's no release date at the moment, Starbucks plans to release them soon. Prices will range from $5 to $28.
The dating app Tinder is unveiling its latest feature. Tinder Matchmaker allows users the ability to get family and friends' opinions on a potential match. The app allows its users to send the link of a person's profile to up to 15 people. Your friends can then log into their Tinder profile and recommend the person if they like them. After that, you can check out the profiles your friends have approved. Michael, you drink Starbucks?
No, I do not. I'm more of a Dunkin' Donuts guy. What about you, Joe?
I don't really drink coffee. I like the Starbucks Frappuccino because it's like a milkshake, but yeah, not really a Starbucks drinker.
I mean, I guess if I had to pick a favorite Starbucks coffee, I would definitely say that the vanilla bean frap is my favorite. I mean, like you said, it's basically like a milkshake, but that is all the time we have for you tonight.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Make sure to follow TV2 News on social media at Kent Wired to stay up to date with the latest, and check out our website at kentwired.com. I'm Michael Neenan.
And I'm Joe Malbin. Have a great night, Portage County.